In a world often portrayed as fast-paced, competitive, and self-centered, something remarkable keeps happening. Every single day, without headlines, applause, or reward, people help. A mother comforts a crying child. A teenager carries groceries for an elderly neighbor. Volunteers rush into danger zones. Strangers offer a hand, and countless acts of kindness quietly unfold in the background of our busy lives. We call these pro-social behaviors, actions intended to benefit others. They range from the everyday to the extraordinary. But the question remains, why? Why do we help? What drives us to put others before ourselves, even when it costs us time, comfort, or safety? Is it empathy, altruism, social pressure, or something deeper, written into the very fabric of our genes because we want to be human? This is not just a story of kindness. It's a journey into the heart of human nature.
Join us as we uncover the science, the psychology, and the soul behind one of our most noble instincts, the instinct to help. To understand why we help others, we begin not in the present, but deep in our evolutionary past. At first glance, helping, especially when it puts us at risk, seems to go against the basic idea of survival of the fittest. If the goal of evolution is to stay alive and reproduce, then why would anyone risk their life to help someone else? The answer lies in a powerful idea from evolutionary science. We're not just trying to keep ourselves alive, we're trying to keep our genes alive. This idea, known as the selfish gene theory, suggests that our behaviors, including acts of kindness, may have evolved not to protect individuals, but to protect their genetic legacy. In other words, we're more likely to help people who share our genes, like siblings, children, or cousins, because saving them helps pass on the genes we share. This is known as kin selection, and it's not just a human thing. All around the animal kingdom, we see examples of creatures risking their lives to protect their relatives. Ground squirrels sound alarms to warn their families of danger. Lemurs attack predators to save a trapped group member, even if it puts them in harm's way. And we humans are no different. Studies show that people are more willing to take risks to help close family members than they are for friends or strangers, especially when the risk is high. In one experiment, people were asked whether they'd help a sibling, a half-sibling, or a friend in various situations, from small favors to life-threatening emergencies. The closer the genetic connection, the more likely people were to help.
In a study, participants were asked to suffer real physical pain, holding an increasingly painful leg position, to earn money for someone else. People endured the most discomfort when they were helping a close relative. These findings reveal something profound. Our willingness to help isn't just about being nice. It's also about survival of something greater than just ourselves. So while helping may look selfless, sometimes it's wired deep within us, passed down from the ancestors who looked out for their own. Helping, it turns out, may be one of the oldest survival strategies we've ever had.
While helping our family might be wired into us through the bonds of shared genes, we don't just help those we're related to. Every day, we lend a hand to coworkers, neighbors, and even total strangers. So, if there's no genetic benefit, why do we still help? One of the strongest explanations is reciprocal altruism, the idea that we help others because, one day, they might help us back. In the long game of survival, kindness can be a powerful investment. In nature, we see this everywhere. Monkeys groom one another, not just out of affection, but because they expect to be groomed in return. Even fish play along. Tiny fish clean parasites from the mouths of bigger fish, and in return, they're allowed to swim away unharmed. Reciprocity builds trust, and trust builds strong, resilient communities. It's why even among the indigenous Ache people of Paraguay, food is shared not just with kin, but with those most likely to share in return. But sometimes we go beyond helping our family, and even beyond helping those who can return the favor. In the animal world, acts of kindness without direct reward are surprisingly common. A group of monkeys once cared for a disabled member born without hands or feet. Rhesus monkeys have been seen protecting weaker individuals. Even unrelated lizards team up to defend their territories. Some scientists call this group-level altruism, the idea that groups with more cooperative members might survive better as a whole than groups filled with selfish individuals. This brings us to one of the most powerful forces behind helping: empathy. Morality, gratitude, compassion, once thought to be uniquely human, are now seen by some scientists as deeply connected to our evolutionary past. In fact, our capacity to care may be part of how we've survived. Call to mind the story of Binti Jua, a gorilla at the Brookfield Zoo. In 1996, a 3-year-old boy fell into her enclosure. She gently picked up the unconscious boy and carried him to safety. Was it instinct? Was it training? Or was it empathy?
Scientists are now finding evidence of empathy, even in the youngest humans and other primates. In one study, infants as young as 18 months helped adults who struggled to reach for dropped items. And young chimpanzees, too, have shown signs of helping behavior based on understanding someone else's needs. Whether it's a child picking up a marker or a chimp helping an elder climb to a grooming perch, one thing is clear: helping is not just something we do, it's something we are. From kin selection to reciprocity, from group survival to empathy, the drive to help is a thread woven deeply into the fabric of life itself. And perhaps that's why helping others feels so meaningful, because it's not just a choice, it's part of our shared story. One of the most unexpected discoveries in the study of pro-social behavior is that the presence of others can sometimes reduce the likelihood of helping, rather than increase it. This phenomenon, known as the bystander effect, was famously highlighted by the 1964 murder of Kitty Genovese in New York City. The bystander effect: safety in numbers or not. In a series of now classic experiments, John Darley and Bibb Latané, 1968, demonstrated that individuals are less likely to help in an emergency when other people are present. The more bystanders there are, the less responsibility each person feels, a concept known as diffusion of responsibility. When more bystanders are present, people may assume someone else will help, conform to others' inaction, called pluralistic ignorance, or may feel less personal accountability. Time pressure. Even people who generally want to help may fail to do so when they are under time constraints. In a study by Darley and Batson, 1973, seminary students on their way to give a talk, ironically, one group was to speak about the Good Samaritan, were less likely to help a man slumped in a doorway because they were in a hurry. Time pressure can interfere with noticing the situation, interpreting the situation as an emergency, choosing to act. Location and culture. Where you live also influences helping behavior. People in rural areas tend to help more than those in urban environments. Possible reasons include smaller communities, creating greater accountability, slower pace of life, allowing more time for processing, lower stimulus overload compared to cities. However, cultural values also play a role. Collectivist cultures may emphasize helping in-group members more, while individualist cultures might encourage more spontaneous helping of strangers under certain conditions. Mood and helping. Our emotional state can significantly influence whether we decide to help. Eisen and Levin, in a study conducted in 1972, showed that good moods generally increase helping because people are more optimistic and focused on others. Negative state relief model showed that negative moods, particularly feelings like guilt or sadness, can also motivate helping if people believe helping will improve their mood. However, anger and anxiety may reduce helping if the emotions cause people to focus inward or become overwhelmed.
Role models and social norms. Exposure to helping role models, whether in real life or through media, can increase the likelihood that someone will help in a similar situation. For example, children who see adults behave helpfully are more likely to imitate that behavior. Norms also matter. Two important social norms that guide helping include norm of reciprocity, help those who have helped you. Norm of social responsibility, help those who are dependent or in need, regardless of their ability to return the favor. These norms are especially powerful when reinforced by one's upbringing, cultural values, and institutional support, such as religious teachings. When a specific person was named, for example, "Can you help me, John?" rather than a general call, for example, "Someone help me, please," the response time decreased dramatically, regardless of the group size. This strategy short-circuits the bystander effect by removing ambiguity and assigning personal responsibility. Stay calm and assertive. Panic can increase ambiguity and confusion. The clearer and more composed you appear, the more likely people are to follow your lead.
The research on the bystander effect transformed understanding of helping behavior. It highlighted how deeply social context influences our actions, often more than personal morality or values alone. While we like to think we'd help in a crisis, experiments and real-life tragedies show that unless certain psychological hurdles are overcome, even good people can fail to act. But the good news is this: knowledge is power. Simply being aware of the bystander effect increases the likelihood that we will overcome it. By applying the lessons learned from Latany and Darley's research, both as potential helpers and as those who may one day need help, we can make a real difference in moments of crisis. Thank you for watching, and do not forget to encourage by writing in the comments section.